Welcome back to Concrete Maintenance. Here's the sound of the clogged washer, the coin in it. And here it is after it's cleared. Yep, clogged washing machine. These are always fun. Just kind of a bad design on this. That coins go past the drain line. Here it is taking apart the cabinet. I show all of that in different videos, but here it is. It's clogged really bad, and the bin full of water. And you never realize how much water these actually have until either you have a leak that causes a flood, or you have a clog like this. And this one was so clogged, it was very difficult to get the water out. Now there's a couple tricks you can use, and sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. This one I was squeezing on the drain line to try to turn the coin so that water would go past. That wasn't working out so well. Another method is to use clamps to clamp off the larger drain hose that comes from the tub. The tricky part there is you need a big enough clamp that'll stretch across to seal the whole drain line, otherwise it's not going to work. The clamp I had was a little small. In hindsight, I could have used a couple pieces like of maybe a paint stir broken in half, and the flat sides of each side I could have put across the hose and then clamp that shut so that you get a full closure on the drain line. Anyway, this one I kind of kept messing around with to try to get the drain line to drain. I finally actually did get it to drain. And but before I did that, I realized that the pump was leaking as well, and a pretty good leak too. It's put out quite a bit of water, but I had my wet dry vacuum handy, and so I was able to vacuum things up. And this is where I discovered the pump leaking, and it's dangerous in there, sharp. Everything is sharp in there, so you got to be real careful. You put a lot of scars, donate a lot of blood. You got to be careful in there. And electricity and water, dangerous mix. All around. This one I clamped it off. Or here I'm trying to put a clamp, and it's also a good idea to protect the hose with something. As I was saying, a paint stir broken in half on each side can get you a better seal, but also can protect that hose so that the clamp's not sitting right on the hose, which can actually wear it out or puncture the hose. You don't want that. Then you're into a whole different situation. But the point is that you can sometimes seal the water that's in the bin so that you can make the repair without necessarily recovering all the water. But that being said, it's a lot of water, and again, you never realize how much water until Another trick that sometimes works with something like this is changing your vacuum to a blower,
wet dry
and
vacuum
blowing
only.
out from the drain. Sometimes what that can do is push the back into the pump or back out so that you can actually drain the water, because it's very difficult to repair without being able to drain the water, and that's what I was able to do here. Here I was trying to take off the hose with the clamp, but I wound up not going that route and redraining the water by changing the vacuum to a blower, blowing through the drain line to push the coin back out and make it work well enough to get the water out so I could pull everything apart and make sure I had no more leak or no more clog, and replace the pump. The pump was leaking, and you'll see a little penny. All that trouble over that little penny. It looks like that sucker'd been in there quite a while. It was all worn down and was about 3/4 the size of a normal penny. Looked like it went through one of those machines, souvenir machines, where it gets flattened out and get the little souvenir. So that was my little souvenir there. Now it sounds good. This one had some heavy towels in it, and so they need to be redistributed. These machines are pretty notorious for that, needing to redistribute things so that it doesn't bounce around so much. But anyway, that's the story on this one. Final method to empty is just a lot of trips with a wet dry vacuum. And those are the sounds of the clogged pump versus a nice, clear, properly running pump. Thanks for watching Kung Fu Maintenance. If you find these videos helpful, a one-time donation would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you support me on Patreon, helps me do what I do. There are some special perks for Patreon supporters. And we'll see you on the next one.
Just a test, it's a challenge, hurt or just give it all you got. It will pass, it will fade. What you see is temporary, what you don't see is eternal. It will last. Hanging with temporary pain gives way to what will last. Temporary pain will pass. This too will pass. Will fade. Give way, let it fade. Help the weak. With your strength, let it be, for what's eternal. All we see is temporary, all this will pass.
I bet some of you have some pretty interesting stories concerning washing machines. I'd like to read them, so if you want to leave some comments in the comments below, that would be cool. And any comments is always interesting to read. If you find these videos helpful, a one-time donation would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you support me on Patreon, helps me do what I do. There are some special perks for Patreon supporters. And we'll see you on the next one.